often don't realize that we are the key to our own happiness, and that happiness starts with healing and transformation. Whether you need healing, guidance, clarity, understanding, or just some honest sister talk to feel connected, heard, and supported, you are welcome and safe here. So join the conversation and be healed. Welcome to Soul Healing Conversations with your host, Roz Kincaid.
What's up, y'all, and welcome to today's show. I am your host, Roz Kincaid, and you can connect with me at rozkincaid.com or at Soul Healing with Roz on Facebook and Instagram. I hope you guys are doing well and staying safe and staying aware. I know there are parts of the world that are starting to emerge from social distancing now. And look, my unsolicited advice is to be smart about it. Just don't be going out here letting loose. just because, you can be out doesn't mean you need to be running around like a wild coyote. Be smart. This ain't the time to be running around here all cavalier. So, the virus is still around. So just be smart, y'all. So before we get in today's show, I wanted to say hello to my listeners all around the U.S. I've got some listeners in Ireland, China, Japan, and Mexico. I want to say also a special hello to my listeners in my hometown of Morganton, North Carolina. Thank you all so much for listening. Your support for the show means a lot. And hey, if you're feeling the show, let me know what you like. Put it out there. Spread the word. Tell somebody. I'd love to get your feedback and have more people listening. So for today, I'm going to take a little bit of a detour and invite you into my world as an entrepreneur. If you're already a business owner or you're thinking about starting a business, then this episode is for you. If you're not, then guess what? This episode is for you too, because I need you all to understand what we as small business owners, especially those who are in the holistic light worker community, what we choose to do to help and support you. Your needs do matter to us, but there's work involved for us to be able to do that, right? So let's get into it. Let's not waste any time. I've invited a special guest to have this conversation with me on how to make your business shine. She's the owner of Shine Coaching and Consulting. She's a worker bee. She's a think tank. She's a visionary. She's a little bit type A, but that's a good thing. She helps make sure my business stuff is right and tight, y'all. She's a sponsor of the show. She's my business coach and consultant. Welcome to the show, everybody. Emily Stow. Hey, Emily. How you doing?
Hey, Roz. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for being on the show. Thanks for all your support. And I think it's important to have you on today to help, have this conversation about coaching and consulting and all the work that goes on in the background to make the train run so that people can get what they need. As Spirit gives us the information and the support, we got to pass it on to people who will also need it. And so there's work that's involved with that. So let's start by tell us about yourself. Tell our listeners who you are.
Sure. As Roz mentioned, I'm Emily Stout. I own Shine Coaching and Consulting. It is a small practice, meaning me, who does web design. I do marketing consulting, branding work, and business coaching. It's something that honestly, my experience is kind of, I guess, culminated to this point for me. Mm-hmm. I have a background in corporate communication and marketing, and I'm a certified coach. So I've done career coaching and life coaching and executive coaching, leadership coaching. And really, I would say, I kind of left the corporate world when I had my daughter. And when she was about a year old, I said to my husband, this is awesome. I love being home with her every day, but mama needs to do something else as well. I need to use my brain again. Mm. So he had told me, why don't you go back and start up your coaching practice again? And I said, yeah, that's a great idea. And I started by redoing my website. And I did my website. And then I had a friend who needed some help. So I built a website for him. And then his wife came to me and said, hey, I want to hire you to do a website. I said, okay, I did it. And then someone saw her website and came to me and said, I want to hire you to do a website. And then I did that website. And all through that, there were all these questions around business goals and marketing and how that all came together. And despite the fact that sometimes in my head, I'm kind of sitting there thinking, I'm not a web designer. I'm a coach.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, spirit, God, the universe had different ideas for me. And it all just kind of came together in a super organic way a few years ago where, one person literally led to another. And so my business has grown organically, and it seems as though everything just kind of really flows together and makes sense. Because I don't know how you can build a website without truly understanding who that person is,
Right.
seeing them as a person, and really understanding the vision they have for their business.
So let me ask you, building a website, do you see that more as a visual representation of the person as opposed to their business? Because, as an entrepreneur, is not, like you said, you are the business, not a building,
Yeah, I think so. It depends on the business itself, but for me, I tend to work with a lot of female entrepreneurs, and within that, there's a lot of light workers, and a lot of my clients are service based. When you are a service based entrepreneur, that means you're not selling a product, you're not selling retail, you are providing a service. So when you are providing a service and you are your business, or you're an entrepreneur or solopreneur, as people are sometimes called, like Roz, perfect example, right? You are a light worker, a healer, a psychic, a medium. What you do, it comes from you.
Right.
And so I think it's super important when you're in that kind of business that, yes, your website and all your marketing materials in general, right? All of your branding, all of your marketing materials, they need to feel like you. Even if you have in your mind, well, I want everything to feel this way. If that's not who you are, people will feel the difference. So I do believe exactly what you said, Roz, that when you are a service-based industry and you are the only person, or even in a smaller business, if it's kind of formed around you and that's a big part of it, then yeah, I want people to land on Roz's website and instantly get a vibe for who Roz is and what kind of person she is. And any of my clients, because everyone has a slightly different take, even all the light workers that I work with, right? Each one of you is beautiful and unique and brings a different energy to what you do and has a slightly different take on how you do Reiki or how you channel or how you do whatever it is, the services that you provide. They're unique because you're unique. And so therefore, everything about you and your business needs to feel like you, so that when people are saying, ooh, I need some balance, I feel like I need some Reiki, who do I go to? And they go through different, people they might stumble across on different websites. I want them to land on my client's website and immediately get a feel for them and go, oh yeah, okay, this is my girl. Here's who I want to go to, because they immediately kind of feel your energy and your vibe through that website.
Right. So it's I know in working with you, it felt more to me as like, how do we translate my vibe into something that people can connect, not only visually, but energetically as well? Just landing on the page. And I mean, if y'all go to the page, rozkincaid.com, you're going to see the butterflies. You'll see how grounded. You'll see, you'll start to see how that translates to who I really am, just being down to earth. And even the quote that Emily, you and I work to put on the page so that people can get a sense of who I am. And so y'all, it's a vibe. It's a vibe. So Emily, for new business owners that might not know, that they need help, can you explain what business coaching and consulting is? I think you talked a little bit about it already, but if you could, go into a little bit more.
Absolutely. I think with a lot of people, especially I find with my clients, they are these amazing people who have this vision for what they want to do, or they have a passion that drives them. They're healers or light workers, and they know what they love. They love to do Reiki. They love to channel for people. And even some of my clients who aren't light workers, right? They have a passion, whatever that passion might be. That does not mean that you know how to run a business or to start a business. And so they know what they want to do, but they're not always sure how to go about doing it. So I have this passion. I want to create a business around it because I love doing this. I want to work for myself. But man, I don't know how to build a website. I don't know how to market myself. I'm not sure what are the things I need to think about when I'm actually creating a business, LLCing a business, there's legal aspects. Now, I'm not a lawyer, so I always suggest people get a business attorney, but it's at least I can give them those checkpoints of, have you done this? Have you thought about that? And it helps people to kind of guide them to take that vision and that dream, and it gives them kind of a path forward to say, okay, because a lot of people think, oh my God, I love this. I know I want to do it. I don't know how. So I kind of give them, this is the how, because I listen to their vision and I listen to their dream. And to your point, Roz, you know me, the type A part of me is like, okay, cool. And I start seeing the steps, right? The path starts to just magically form in my brain where I see step A, B, C, D, E. Like I just start to see it. And for whatever reason, that's kind of how my brain works. And so I'm able to then guide them through the process of starting a business. What are the things they need to think about? What are the important things, how to prioritize? And then obviously there's like kind of more, fun stuff to me as well as the branding and, the building of the website and the marketing materials, and that all kind of visual, cool stuff, finding quotes for your website, finding the perfect images, getting headshots taken or whatever it might be. That all that kind of artistic stuff is super, super fun. But I also bring to the table that, I have 20 years of business experience. And so I can also give you that, okay, it's okay, bring it down. Step one, start here. And then we continue to build together to make sure that they go down the right path for them, to make sure that that dream becomes a reality for them.
Right on. I can remember when you and I started out, I actually came to you and said, hey, can you help me build my business? I got this nice little lotus flower. It looks like hands, all the colors. You were like, no, dog, this ain't you. This ain't you. And I can remember starting down this path with you of who is Roz? How do you want to present yourself to the world when you say that you're a healer, you're a psychic, you're a medium, you're this, you're that, and you do all of these cool and great things to help support people, and getting to the destination or actually the milestone of saying, hey, I'm about transformation. Y'all, that part was transformative in itself because I had to dig deep. And I think that that's what makes you unique, Emily, as a business coach and consultant, is that you incite people to really dig deep and figure out who they really are and how they want to show up in the world, not only as an entrepreneur or a solopreneur, but as a woman, as a person, as a soul. You know what I'm saying? And it was just crazy. I did not expect the amount of thinking and soul searching that I was going to have to do to be able to end up with a brand that what I think is popping right now. So, but talk to us. What are your core values and what's your coaching philosophy?
So, it's funny, Roz, I totally agree. And I do think that that's something that happens a lot with me. And I've been told that by more than one client, that they come to me to help them get their business going or to rebrand it or whatever. And they're like, I was not prepared for the emotional journey that this would be. And there's beauty to that. And I think part of it for me is, to the question you asked, what are my core coaching philosophies? Honestly, I think it boils down to me to authenticity and connection. Mm-hmm. Because, and I think that's where, to your point, the soul searching comes from, right? Yeah. You can't be, you have to be authentic. To me, it's like, you have to, there's no way around that. And there's a bunch of reasons why. One, because I think people at this point absolutely honor and respect people that are authentic. Mm-hmm. And if there's a disconnect in that, whether it's in the way that you act as a person and you kind of build this persona of who you want people to think you are, but that's not who you are, people feel that. They feel that in your energy. They feel that in your words. They feel that in your body language. They feel it in your marketing materials. If you market yourself as this, super, whimsical gal, and then people meet Roz, it's not that you don't have some whimsy to you, but Roz is real. Roz is grounded, and so you have to be who you are. And I think a lot of times people get this image in their head of like, this is who I have to be. No, you need to be you, because people will connect with you. And don't get me wrong, when people are who they truly are, you're not going to connect with every single person in the world.
Right.
But that's okay because you're not supposed to. So to me, it is that you need to be authentic and you need to connect in a very genuine and sincere way with your target audience. And with that, oftentimes it comes more soul searching than people imagine because they think they knew who they are and they think they got it. But then we start to talk through these questions and we start to talk about, what are your values and what's your passion and what do you believe in? And that really brings about those deeper conversations. And I think there's a lot of beauty in that. But yes, I think it also does. You can't just throw it up there and not with me anyway.
Right. Oh, no.
I don't
slap it on.
I don't let my clients go there because there's a few things that are going to happen. So one, I want it to resonate with you. I want you to feel good in the end that what we're putting out there, be it your website or your, social media or your business card you're handing out, whatever it might be, I want it to feel like you. I want people to connect with you. And if you come to me, 6 months down the line as a client and say, hey, people aren't connecting, and it's, because you're trying to be something you're not, that's part of the problem, right? I have clients come to me all the time. I have these followers, but they're not turning in, it's not turning over. It's not transitioning into, sales and people connecting with me on this side. Well, who does your social media? Well, I have a girl who does that. Okay, that's cool. And I get it. But here's the thing. People need to connect with you, especially as a small business and as an entrepreneur and as a healer. I know there's a lot of light workers out there. People connect with you. They connect with your energy and your spirit. And if they don't feel that, it doesn't connect. They feel it. And sometimes it's little and they don't know quite why, but there's just, sometimes
that's enough.
Something feels off.
And that's enough right there.
So yeah, I would say definitely for me, value is authenticity and connection because I don't believe that marketing is selling. I believe that marketing is, I've probably said this to you a million times, but marketing is connecting.
Yes.
Right? I know you're rolling your eyes at me right now.
I am. Connect. Yes. But it's always connect because like you said, people can pick up a vibe. People can pick up an energy. People can pick up when you being fake or trying to push an agenda and listen, people can also tell when you out here doing it for the money. If your heart's not in it and you doing it, to line your pockets or whatever, so definitely it pushed me to not be afraid to be me, to put me out there. But anyway, let's take a quick break because I want to get a little bit more into that. When we come back from the break, Emily and I are going to pick up this conversation on making your business shine. So you guys hang tight. We'll be right back after this break.
You have a passion, and from that passion, you've created a business. But how do you market and grow that business? Hi, I'm Emily of Shine Coaching and Consulting. I specialize in brand identity, website design, marketing consulting, and business coaching. I create a visual expression of my clients' ideas and help them develop a business strategy to meet their goals. Connect with me today at shinecoachingandconsulting.com. Be inspired, be real, be you.
The Voice America Live Events channel is here now to showcase your corporate, individual, or organization's live event. Visit voiceamerica.com/live events to see all of our past live events and find out more. Whether it's a multi-day conference, special speaker, or single-day event, we've got everything to make your event a success. We can do a few hours or a few days. For more information about taking your event to the next level, call Jeff Spinard at 480-294-6417 or email info@voiceamerica.com. Again, that's Jeff Spinard at 480-294-6417 or send us an email to info@voiceamerica.com. Voice America is where you are and where you want to be. Join us around the globe as we broadcast live from some of the most interesting events available. Don't forget to view all our live events, including on-demand access to past events that you may have missed by visiting voiceamerica.com/live events.
We're making it easier to listen to the Voice America Talk Radio Network wherever you go. In addition to listening live, you can check out information about your favorite talk show hosts, discover new talk show personalities, add shows to your list of favorites, and listen to all of our show archives on demand, all from your iOS, Amazon Kindle, or Android device. Download it from the Apple App Store, Amazon, or Google Play, and get ready to tune in. The Voice America mobile app, powered by Aircast.
You are tuned in to Soul Healing Conversations. If you would like to reach Roz Kincaid or her guest today, please call into the program at 1-866-472-5788. That's 1-866-472-5788. You may also send an email to hello@rozkincaid.com. Now, back to Soul Healing Conversations.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm your host, Roz Kincaid, and you are listening to Soul Healing Conversations. Here with me discussing how to make your business shine is my guest, sponsor, and business coach, Emily Stout of Shine Coaching and Consulting. Now, Emily, before we went to the break, we were talking about core values and your coaching philosophy, and then we kind of continued that part of the conversation into the break and talked about how, the first iteration of websites and images for me, how that experience was. You want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, it's funny because you're one of my kind of go-to stories too. Like when people ask about, working with me and working with light workers and how this all kind of works. And, I didn't know Roz before we started working together. She came through me from another common acquaintance that we had. And we sat down and we had our initial meeting and went through all the business stuff and how it works and all that kind of stuff. And it basically was time for us to sit down. And I usually do a couple of designs for the website for people. And so I did that. And in my brain, what happens is I generally do a couple of different designs for people, but there's always one that I know they're going to choose. I just know it. I don't know why. I call it intuition. I always know which one they're going to choose. And so I had shown her the first one and she was pretty like, yeah, it's nice. It's clean. I like it. The colors are cool. Like, positive feedback. And I was like, okay, cool. Here's the second one. Excuse me. And I looked at Roz and she basically put her head down and had tears in her eyes. And I was sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, like I have offended her in some way. Like I have done something wrong. Like, is there a typo that I am missing? Like, what have I done? That is like, she's getting so emotional about this. And I remember you looking up at me and you were like, I'm sorry. And I was like, no, like, what's wrong? Like, what have I done? And Roz looked at me and said, like, how did you know? How did you know? Like for any of you who have not seen it yet, you need to go out and check it out. But one of the main images on Roz's homepage is this beautiful image of a tree with sunlight filtering through it. And I just loved this. I saw this and just knew it was Roz. And when she looked at me and said, yeah, I basically climbed that tree as a kid at my grandmother's. And my mind just was like, what? That's crazy. And so, intuition is a huge part of it for me. And I couldn't exactly tell you where it comes from. But I often know which website my clients are going to choose. I often just see colors for them. Like I remember looking at you in our first meeting, Roz, and I was like, I see a lot of green, like nature green. And you just kind of looked at me, you were like, yeah, like, yep, totally.
I like green, pretty much.
And so, and that's part of it too, is it does become emotional. I mean, Roz and I, we were just talking about, we met a year ago. She came to me a year ago and said, hey, I want to rebrand my business. And I said, okay, cool. What's your timeline? Do you remember this, Roz? What's your timeline? She said,
yes.
Probably like a year. And I was like, oh no, we're going to be live by the end of the summer. And
June.
Like, what? And we did. We went live in, I think, the first week of August or something, right? Like
yep, it was.
And now it's been a year. So it is, to me, it's beautiful on several counts. As one, I love when people come to you to share their dream, right? And that they're vulnerable enough to be like, this is who I am. This is what I want. And then you help them build that. And you watch all the success that comes to them and you watch them struggle, right? You connect with them. Like my clients, so many of them become ongoing clients because we continue to work together as they continue to grow. but they're also friends, So like I care about how my clients do, not just because I want them to do well for the sake of their website performing well or their marketing materials being successful, but because they're really cool people who do really amazing things. And it's really awesome to just be part of that journey with you and to be part of your support team that helps you make it happen.
Listen, I've enjoyed it. It's been uncomfortable. It's been highs, lows, but it has really been transformative. And I would
telling people that, Roz.
Well, I wouldn't trade it, because you need that kind of stuff. You need that kind of stuff to be able to grow and transform and get back to the real you. You know what I'm saying? You need somebody to not to coach you, to push you. That's what a coach does. They push you, man. How you think Michael Jordan got so damn great? He didn't get great by somebody just sitting on the sidelines letting him run up down the court. You got to have somebody to push you. And I'm here to tell you, if you are, if you need somebody to just build your little website, make you some nice little pretty cards, and they're not getting to the heart of who you are, you might want to reevaluate who you're working with. I mean, I know somebody that you can work with. But, Emily, you talk a lot about having worked with a lot of businesses or having, evolved to work with a lot of businesses who offer holistic and spiritual services. What's your experience been like working with those businesses?
Oh, how long do you have? Honestly, I think it really comes down to it's been an amazing opportunity for growth for me. Mm-hmm. I kind of learned about energy healing probably a little over a decade ago because I had some chronic back pain issues and ended up doing some Reiki and then some craniosacral. And so I was a believer in energy healing for well over a decade now because it worked for me. It physically took pain out of my body when Western medicine had failed me and basically told me I had to survive in pain until I became surgical. Well, 15 years later, I have not had surgery for my back again. So I became a believer then with this amazing energy healing. And then honestly, didn't necessarily think a whole lot about it in the sense of a business perspective. That has happened very organically where I just apparently light workers are drawn to me for whatever reason. And I really love working with them. So I have grown immensely because my understanding of energy healing, Reiki, the life force that Reiki is, that kind of energy has grown immensely. What I've learned about light workers and psychics and mediums and channeling. I mean, I ask questions all the time when I'm like, I don't know what that is. How does that work? I remember one of I was like, what's the difference between a psychic and a medium? And you explaining it to me, and I was like, honestly, till that moment, I didn't have a clue what the difference was. It was kind of just all amazing magic to me. And I have learned so much. And to be perfectly honest, it's actually sent me on my own personal journey. I just finished Reiki 1. I know, right? For me, it's professional, but it's also personal because every new client that I take on, and honestly, I learn from all of my clients, even the ones I'm working with an electrical engineer now. I am never going to become an electrical engineer, but I learn from her when we talk and I learn about the industry and I'm always learning, but my light workers, oh my goodness. Yes. I now own, I don't know, probably 20 crystals and
you got your collection now.
I do. I'm now a crystal collector. And as someone told me last week, one of my other friends who's also a light worker, I said just something, I have my divine feminine crystal in my bra right now. And she was like, oh, you're in the woo now. You're stuffing crystals in your bra. You're in. You're all in.
Oh my God.
So yeah, honestly, I've grown in immense ways. And I also, I learned too. And often I find with light workers, many of them don't have a business background. A lot of them some of them were teachers. Some of them were massage therapists. Excuse me. Some of them were semi-corporate. Some of them weren't. But most of them have zero experience certainly growing their own business, but oftentimes, even if they have any sort of corporate experience, it doesn't quite translate in the same way. So I think the balance there is really beautiful of, the trust, right? Of them coming to me and being like, listen, I have this vision. I have no idea how to, continue and how to make it, make it happen.
Right.
so they're coming to me for that. But oftentimes they often want me to do sessions with them. I want to go through all my services with you so that you can really understand my vibe when I'm doing these things. Well, that only grows me too, right? That's an amazing experience for me as well, because, okay, yeah, cool. Now I can help you talk about this more, and I better understand what it's like to go through this with you so I can help you market it. But also, awesome. You know what I mean? Like, I just grew from that experience. I learned more about myself from that experience. So all of it, I think, for me, specifically working with the light workers and the holistic, I mean, I'm constantly learning. I am constantly evolving and ascending, as it were. And so I think I'm incredibly grateful. This has happened for a reason. I don't know why me trying to restart my business as a coach ended up with me being a web designer, marketing consultant, and business coach for mostly light workers. I don't know why, but you know what? I'm super grateful that it has, because it's amazing for me as well.
Yeah, girl, just flow with it because it's working for you. It seems to be working well for you. So based on your experience, you talked about having some clients, having some corporate background, some not. What differentiates successful businesses in the spiritual community from struggling businesses that you've seen?
It's funny. My gut on this is it has less to do with their experience and more to do back to like my core values of authenticity and connection. Marketing is not selling. If you are trying to sell people, you're losing people.
Yep.
You need to connect with them. And yes, on some level, obviously you want to have a solution for a challenge they're facing, but that needs to be organic. And I think especially in the light working community, whether you're searching for physical, emotional, or spiritual healing or growth or balance or any of that, it needs to be authentic, because people basically they're allowing themselves to be vulnerable with you, no matter what kind of healing you're doing, no matter what way you're working with them. If you're a light worker, it needs to be authentic. If people feel like you're trying to sell to them, they are turned off by that. And it's not always even just about selling. I think sometimes people believe that to like be a business owner, there's a certain way you have to be. And if that's not who you are, like, you need to just be you.
Right.
It just needs to come from your heart. You need to just be you. And, I've heard this phrase a bunch of times for myself going into my own business, but like, do what you love, the money will follow. And I do believe in that. I mean, I don't believe in it with like, it, like you said, it takes a lot of hard work. Wishes do not make dreams come true. There's a lot of diligence, a lot of research, a lot of work that goes into that. But you have to be you, and you have to really own that, or people will not connect with you. So even if you have all the resources and you have followers and whatever, if people feel that you are trying to be someone you're not, even if it's like not in a negative way, you know what I mean? Like if they feel that dichotomy, it's a turnoff for them. They don't become as vulnerable. They don't engage on the same level. When people feel that you are truly being you, they are more likely to connect with you and trust you.
Right.
And I think specifically in the light working industry, people it's like you're a therapist, right? It's like anything else.
Yeah.
You don't just go pour your heart out to some random therapist you found on, like the Yellow Pages.
Mind Body.
Anymore, do they? But
Mind Body.
I'm aging myself, but Yellow Pages comment. But, but I mean, it's the same thing. Like no one's going to get on that table. I mean, even if it's just, they're not speaking, even if we're not talking about spiritual coaching or counseling in any way, even if it's just Reiki for physical healing, if they don't open themselves up to you, it doesn't work the right way, right?
Right.
Reiki is intelligent, but if they're not open to it, it won't come through. So that's why I think the authenticity and the connection, to me, I mean, it's always going to come back to that. And those are the folks that I think are generally going to be the most successful. Though I will add, there's also a caveat that I do find, and I think this is beautiful, a lot of my light workers struggle with putting a monetary value on their time, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a gift that you have. It's a gift that you've honed. It's a skill that you've continued to develop, but it comes through you, right? It comes from your heart. It comes, even Reiki, I understand it's not your energy, it's coming through you. But that doesn't, it's still personal on some level, right? You're still the conduit for healing for these people.
Right.
And if you're doing, spiritual coaching or counseling in any way, or intuitive healing, when you're talking through things with people, they have to become vulnerable with you. And so, that's really, really important. And people think, well, this is a gift though, like that how can I charge for that? Well, doctors and nurses are amazing healers. They get paid for working, and so do you. So I would say that is one of the things that I do find a lot with my light workers, that they struggle because they don't always want to charge people. They feel awkward around putting a monetary value on their time. And especially for women, because I'm a big fan of women tend to undervalue themselves and what their time is worth. That is super important. You have to believe that you are worth it, and that even though this may be a gift that you feel you have, and the giving of it is healing and it's beautiful and amazing, you getting paid for your time and your energy is not a negative thing. It's still part of the beautiful process of people coming to you for healing.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what came up for me as you were talking about this is that I can remember struggling to, find the right price point that wouldn't deter people or, anything like that. But I started to notice that it would be tied to my own self-worth and self-value, not only am I good enough, but am I really worth all of this? It's different when you in the corporate world and you're going to an interview and you're negotiating your base salary and you got the stuff to make stuff happen at your job and you have the credentials and the certifications, and you can be bold about going up to a HR or a recruiter and say, I'm going to require $140,000 for me to do this job. It's a little different when you got somebody's soul and energy in your hands and you start to compare yourself to people who have been in it longer, shorter, and, you do all that mental gymnastics and it gets tough and it puts you, you in check, puts your value in check. Like, listen, I know what I'm doing. I know what I have. And you got to tighten up. You know what I'm saying? You got to stiffen up a little bit and know that you, just like you go out into your corporate world, if that's what you're doing, you have the stuff. God didn't give you this gift for you to just pimp it out. People, it's worth something, it's worth something that, really money, more than money can buy. But, you got to put a value on it. And just because you put a value on your time doesn't make you less or more of a person or less or more in value or worth. But, time, you got to charge for your time, man. It's important to do that, And
Absolutely.
So yeah, I know that I struggled with that and I still kind of do, but self-value, money is really tied together. So listen, we got another break coming up. When we come back, Emily are going to wrap up our conversation on making your business shine. So don't move. We're coming right back after this break.
Become our friend on Facebook. Post your thoughts about our shows and network on our timeline. Visit facebook.com/Voice America.
You have a passion, and from that passion, you've created a business. But how do you market and grow that business? Hi, I'm Emily of Shine Coaching and Consulting. I specialize in brand identity, website design, marketing consulting, and business coaching. I create a visual expression of my clients' ideas and help them develop a business strategy to meet their goals. Connect with me today at shinecoachingandconsulting.com. Be inspired, be real, be you.
Follow the Voice America Variety channel on Twitter. Our hosts always have something to say, and we know that you do too. We tweet on today's hot topics, and you're welcome to follow us. Speak up and join in at Voice AM Variety. That's at Voice AM Variety. Tune in to the Voice America Variety channel on the Voice America Talk Radio Network. Voice America Variety broadcasts a diverse array of topics, reaching a global community. Our experts come from all walks of life, and the topics they discuss are everything from current events, arts and entertainment, leadership, parenting, relationships, self-improvement, career advice, and a variety of other topics. Check us out today. You're sure to find something of interest. Voice America Variety. Talk on today's hot topics.
You are tuned in to Soul Healing Conversations. If you would like to reach Roz Kincaid or her guest today, please call into the program at 1-866-472-5788. That's 1-866-472-5788. You may also send an email to hello@rozkincaid.com. Now, back to Soul Healing Conversations.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. I'm your host, Roz Kincaid. If you'd like to work with me one-on-one, feel free to contact me at rozkincaid.com to schedule a Reiki session or an intuitive reading. I also offer spiritual coaching, and I also can clear your space of anything that's not needed or wanted there. And also, if you're interested in becoming a sponsor like Emily, or you'd like to advertise your business on my Voice America show page, you can find more information about that on my radio show page on my website at rozkincaid.com/radio show. Also, you can send me an email if you want more details to hello@rozkincaid.com. So I'm here with my sponsor and business coach, Emily Stout. We're having a conversation about making your business shine. And before the break, Emily, you and I were talking about how hard it is, or how much of a challenge it is for especially women to put a monetary value on our service, our time. And I think you wanted to talk a little bit more about that.
Well, one of the things too is people often get overwhelmed. When they're trying to start a business, or even if you've had it for a little bit and you're kind of rebranding it, there's a lot that goes into that. But especially kind of those newer businesses, and people kind of, I think we've even talked about too, like, how do you not get overwhelmed while you're going through all this? And one of the things I'll say, speaking to that kind of money concept, is don't overinvest financially until you are making money. So I have lots of clients who are like, hey, I need the scheduling app. I need this technology. I need that I need to get this app that I can load on my Facebook and my Instagram post and all these things. And I'm like, awesome. Are you, how many appointments do you have a week? And they're like, oh, like 2. And I'm like, okay, you don't need a scheduling app right now. And I'm not saying that those things, and it's not about the scheduling app. Like, that's just an example, because there's some awesome scheduling apps out there. We use them, whatever. But the concept is it can kind of become analysis paralysis. I need this, I need this, I need this, I need this. No, you need to do you, right? So I am all for technology. I'm all for efficiency. I am all that for once you have a steady flow of clients coming through, that yes, do a scheduling app. You don't want to be doing all the over email or texting and whatever, of course. But when you're just starting out and you have like 1 client a week or 2 clients a week, you don't need to be paying for that scheduling app until you need it. So it's all relative. Obviously, even with me, there's been times when I'm working with clients where they're like, okay, we did this and now I wanted to build this over here. And I'm like, listen, I can do that for you, but it doesn't feel right to me to continue to take money from you to build this until you're already seeing a payoff in what we've already done. So we've gotten your basics. We've got a sweet website for you. You've got some marketing materials. You now have what you need to be able to connect with people. But you don't need to keep going. Like, yes, your business is going to grow. Yes, you're going to need those things. But the number one thing I can tell people is, for not getting overwhelmed specifically, is you don't need to invest in everything all at once, right? You need to take a hard look at what your financials are. It's, one thing to get yourself set up. But even for me, like I said, there's been times where I've told clients, listen, I will do this for you, but I don't think it's necessary right now. I don't think you need to spend another $2,000 with me to build this crazy thing over here, because, the first phase isn't off the ground yet. Let's get people in the door for you first. And I think that that's really important for people, is I don't need all these things to start doing what I do, right? Especially light workers. You all learn. These gifts come to you in different ways. Some of you are born with it and you just don't remember a time when you didn't see spirits, right? Other times, like Roz, it's like Your Beautiful Story, where it kind of didn't evolve for you until you were pregnant with your baby girl and all this crazy stuff started happening to you. So it comes to people in different ways. but you're already a healer. You're doing what you need to do, and you can do that without any technology. So I will build you a beautiful website that absolutely emotes like your personality and your vibe and who you are. But the most amazing website in the world does not a business make. You got to be doing the thing already. So you've got to be seeing clients. You've got to be reaching out to people. You got to just do you.
Yeah.
All that other marketing stuff absolutely helps, but it does not make a business. So if you keep just, oh, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this. No. You need to do the thing. Get out there and do it. Whatever your thing is, do it.
Do the work. Give people something to talk about.
Exactly.
And that's the other thing, word of mouth.
Yeah.
If I learn nothing else from you, Emily, word of mouth, people telling somebody, or knowing somebody that knows something about it is the way to really authentically build your business, because, people are not going to come out here and, just talk about you and what you can offer and not know what it is firsthand.
Right. I couldn't, I agree. You know me. I like, word of mouth is like another one of my, it's marketing is not selling, it's connecting. And then my second mantra is probably word of mouth. And that's even for big businesses. I mean, truly, I'm not even going to go over the stats. I won't bore you with that type A part of me, but I mean, word of mouth is everything. And it's not just for small businesses. It's also for big businesses, but people are far more likely to trust a referral or a reference from a friend or a family member, or even for that matter, an internet review over a commercial, right? Over an advertisement they see every time. And there's a lot of ways to do it. Sometimes it's legit old school. This person talked to that person, talked to this person, talked to that person. Other times it is through social media. It is through your newsletter. It is through your blog, right? It's word of mouth and can grow in several ways in 2020. But yes, that I will always stand by that. People take for granted that word of mouth is everything. I've known people, even light workers today, they are granted of an older generation who never really had a website because their word of mouth is so powerful that when she put I knew this woman who, when she put her website out, she literally got so inundated. She had to take it down because her business was so strong through word of mouth. It was everything. So yes, absolutely. I'm always going to go back to word of mouth. And that again ties back to authenticity and connection. When people trust you, when they connect with you, which is something that on some level you're allowing them in, right? Like you're choosing on some level to be vulnerable and to stand strong in exactly who you are as a person, for better or worse, flaws, beautiful imperfections included, and allowing people to connect with who you truly are. And that is amazing. And even all the little things that we all get tied up in our head of, whatever the flaws we think we have, however, whatever negative thoughts we have about ourselves, people love that because they feel the same damn way. They're not perfect and they know it. Right. So seeing you and knowing you and them seeing you being vulnerable and who you are connects them to you. And they are much more likely, oh man, I've got these migraines. Oh, you got to see my girl Roz, man. She helped me out. That's word of mouth because they believe in you. And when someone's mother, brother, sister, friend, in-law, whatever, says, ooh, I got a girl for you. You got to go see this lady. She's amazing. You listen because you trust them, that you've got street cred because that person, they would never send you to some random person. So yes, always word of mouth.
Yeah. A testimony goes a long way in these streets. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, if you want to build solid, it might not be fast, but if you want to build solid and have some longevity, let people talk about you. Do good work and then ask people to talk about you.
Yes.
And watch what happens.
Yeah.
So we're talking about, things not to do to, not to get over things not or to do to not to get overwhelmed. But, you're a mom, I'm a mom, we're wives, we own businesses. How do you find balance between all of those things and still keep your sanity?
I don't always.
Keep it all the way real. We lose it a little bit.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
a lot.
Yeah. I mean, Roz got on so obviously this isn't a radio show, it's audio. And Roz and I were, Zooming on video beforehand. And she's like, hey, we can talk. Let's do a quick, let's get on video. And I was like, oh, dude, you don't want to see me today. I'm not showered. So, it is a constant, especially in these times, right? More than ever. I've got 2 small children home with me. My daughter turns 5 tomorrow. My son turns 3 in another month.
Mm-hmm.
I got a husband who's working from home full time. I have a business that's inexplicably blowing up right now because apparently I kind of thought, okay, COVID hit, and I thought, okay, people are going to kind of chill out and like go inside and like not going to work on their businesses. Turns out, no, this is apparently a great time to work on your business because I got people reaching out to me left and right, which is really awesome. And also overwhelming, right? Like, oh my goodness. So finding that balance, listen, I'm going to be real with you. I am still searching for it. Every now and then I get like a finger on it. But interestingly enough, in full circle, oftentimes the way that I try to find balance, I mean, this Reiki 1 course that I just finished, that's not about me wanting to necessarily be a healer for other people. Mm-hmm. That is all about me trying to get grounded in my own energy and be present and mindful and all that Reiki brings. That's one of the ways that honestly, I'm actually kind of keeping my sanity. And my husband did the same thing. Like he finished it right before me. We did them like one-on-one with one of my girls. And it's not about like healing to me for other people. It's all about me and getting grounded. It's my crystal collection continues to grow. I mean, I got black clearing salt by the side of my bed right now. There's all kinds of things. I seek out, healing sessions myself. There's all kinds of things that I do, but it's interestingly, what I'm going to and turning towards now is a lot of, holistic healing and finding my own way of being balanced and grounded. And the other thing is just being okay with what you're doing and where you're at. Mm-hmm. You can't run the world. You can't do it all. So do the best that you can and know that that is enough. You have done enough.
I mean, yeah, that part. I can't add anything to that. I really can't. I mean, we've got a few minutes before we have to wrap the show. I want to ask you real quick. I want to get this in. I want people to be able to take away something. Well, not that we haven't given them enough, but what are some of the key things that businesses can do without hiring a business coach or consultant to further or improve their business?
So I think it's about investing your time wisely, right? So invest in the people that you have, right? If you've got some clients already, invest in them because it speaks to the word of mouth. It speaks to the connection. It speaks to the authenticity. If you are a brand new business and you're like, I got no one, I have no clients. Oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I mean, you don't want to be like that MLM mom who's like hitting people on Facebook like, hey girl, oh yeah, but I want to buy my stuff. No, like you don't want to do it like that. That's not authentic connection. But you reach out to your friends and family and you say, hey, I'm starting this business because I really believe in this. And I really love some help from you, in supporting me or whatever. Like if you happen to hear people, like you're not asking people to hard sell for you, but you reach out, you let people know what you're doing. And when, your cousin's friend mentions that they, have some back pain they need to get rid of, or they're, really feeling like not grounded lately, your name is going to pop up authentically because they know the journey that you're on. And if you do have clients and once you start to get clients, it's really about investing in them, making sure how they're doing, like, be conscientious of their time, but then do the follow-ups. They had a session with you, follow up with them. How are they feeling? Do they have questions? It's not about, hey, how are you? Want to do another one? It's, hey, how are you feeling? Do you have any questions for me that I can help answer after your session? It's that kind of, connection to those people. And then they feel like you care because you do. And that's how it continues to kind of grow. So yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. That's key information. So real quick before we go, Emily, how can our listeners connect with you and what you got coming up? I know you got some stuff coming.
I always have stuff coming up. They can connect with me at shinecoachingandconsulting.com. They can connect with me on Instagram at type.a.hippie on Instagram. And at Emily at shinecnc.com is my email address. I've been doing some workshops. I've been doing some word of mouth workshops, content marketing, social media basic stuff. I've got some more workshops coming up in June. People can hit up my website. Again, that's shinecoachingandconsulting.com on my workshops page to see what's coming up. And those are the best ways to get a hold of me.
Cool. Nice. Emily, thank you so much. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for being on the show today. I'm so grateful to have you a part of my journey to build my business, but also to help me transform. I want to keep the conversation going. You guys share your thoughts, your questions on Facebook and Instagram at Soul Healing with Roz. Let me know how you like the show. Join me next week. I have another awesome show for you. We're going to have psychic medium Monique Mosher join me for a conversation on psychic mediumship abilities and using those to connect with spirit. You don't want to miss this one if you're curious about psychic and mediumship work. And who knows, Monique and I might even do a live reading on the show. It's going to be lit. So until next time, you guys, stay safe and take care of yourselves. Bye, everybody.
Thank you again for listening to Soul Healing Conversations. Please join Roz Kincaid again for another program next Wednesday at 12 noon Pacific Time and 3 p.m. Eastern Time on the Voice America Variety Channel. We'll talk again next week.